As always, this episode of the 1878 FM podcast is sponsored by Greene King Sport, where football is more than a game. Make Greene King your go-to destination for the season's final stretch. Why? For one, you can watch every televised Toffees game down with delicious food and refreshing beverages. And with 900 sports clubs dotted around the UK, chances are you're within walking distance of your local Greene King. Let's be honest, watching football is way better with friends and family. So get the squad together for every televised Premier League fixture in an atmosphere worth sharing. That includes huge title showdowns, race for European qualification, and the nail-biting relegation six-pointers. Don't forget to download the Greene King Sports app to enjoy your exclusive competitions and discounts whenever there is a game on. Right, on with the podcast. Hello, welcome to the 1878 FM podcast. It is episode 34. The on-off romance between Sam Avery and Dave Vitti has took another twist because Sam is away on holiday, so they're not quite in the foursome again today, but just taking it slow.
They're on a break.
They're taking it, I don't know whether, well, I mean they are technically, but taking it slow. I like that.
On a break.
I like that. Don't have to dive in. But David, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm all good. As
Good.
you said, we were chatting before we pressed record on here, and it was very nearly the perfect weekend. Just gone if it weren't for the fact that Luton obviously won at the end.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it all was pretty good. And, you know, again, we were just saying if it weren't for the fact that Luton are in direct competition with us, you can only admire what they're doing because they're not going anywhere, are they?
They are very durable. For a bit at Goodison on Saturday, it was great. Brentford were 2 down. Luton were getting beat. We were winning. And was like, this is going well.
It's weird the way they kept on putting the scores on the screen until Luton scored the second goal. Why are you putting the scores on the screen, Everton? I'll continue to... Who thinks that's a good idea? And then why... So why didn't you put them on for when Luton scored the second goal?
But they're saying Brentford aren't competitors, even though Everton were above Brentford and are above
But
Brentford.
there was a stage where they put them on just to... It was 0-0. It was a terrible game. And they just put them on the screen. And I think it was basically saying, lads... Everyone else is rubbish.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
All nil-nil,
it's all
weren't they?
nil-nil. Everyone's rubbish.
You don't have to try too hard because you're already doing okay.
Yeah, we're not special. Nobody's special. Yeah, but they didn't put the score when Luton went 2-1 up. So
Didn't put the score when Luton equalised either, I don't
no,
think.
they didn't. No.
So,
no.
the bit straight. I mean,
Very
we'll
good.
get on to the game in a minute, but Ned is making up the 4 this week.
Could have just had 3.
No, I asked him to come on to make it a 4, basically because I like the new thing. But I want to go to Ned because Ned experienced hospitality at a football match
For the first time in his
For the
life.
first time in his
Someone
life.
was hospitable.
Someone was putting him in a hospital. What? He wasn't hospitalised. No, he was in hospitality at Goodison at the weekend, courtesy of one of our Premier
Courtesy
members.
of us.
Well, courtesy of us because we were invited, but it went down the food chain.
He's spare. And he looks, that's the weird thing, he looks like Harry, and he was Harry.
There you go.
And he took his very own Meghan
He took Meghan Markle with him, he did.
His very own.
Meghan Cam with him. But Ned, what was your first experience of hospitality at Goodison Park like at the weekend? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, but do you know what? Like, going to matches normally something where you just go in for what really happens on the pitch. There's not really much of an experience at Goodison, is there? So, for me, it was just kind of like a chance to go to the match, and it's like, it's not really that. Obviously, we need a win. It's huge, but if the game's crap, and it was, to be honest, it gives me a chance to, have a good day out rather than I'm just there to support the Blues on. But I had a good day out, to be fair. It was actually really, really fun. I'd love to do it again, but I'm not made of money.
Even if you had the money, let's be honest, Ned, you wouldn't spend it anyway. Let's be honest. So go on. What you went in was you greeted with a drink. Was the food before? What was
Got
the
down for 12
rundown?
o'clock, which is like the earliest I've ever been anywhere near the ground.
What a shot. The minute the lock opened on the door,
Ned was in there.
banging on the door.
I'm making the most of it. So you go in, you get champagne, you get like a bread roll and stuff. You get a programme.
He went from champagne to a bread roll.
Bread roll, everybody.
They sit you down with your little table, and you get a 4-course meal. The food was like,
nice.
The food was brilliant.
What did you have?
I had a beef salad for starters. I had a fillet steak.
Nice.
For my main. I had a cheesecake for my dessert. And then at half time, get this, we went back in the lounge at half time and had a cheese board. And I'm sitting there eating cheese. And I look up at the screens and the game's kicked off and I went, finish this bit of cheese. And
So you were one of those knobheads that when the semis and the finals on at Wembley. Club Wembley.
I want to make the most of that cheese. Listen, I'm probably not going to get another free cheese board, so I'm going to make the most of it. I don't even know what cheese I was eating, but it was nice.
Okay. All right.
Fair play.
There you go. There's the hospitality day out for Ned. Dave, as the game, as a spectacle, the game's a spectacle, wasn't tremendous by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Little quality on show from both sides. And the thing that disappointed me, like all week, and I think we said this last week, we were talking about like Everton making like an intense start to the game and really trying to get Burnley on the back foot, and we come out and I think we pressed for the first kind of like 2 minutes. We like ran around a little bit, and then it just dropped again. And they can't have say, oh well, the crowd weren't with us, because the crowd were brilliant. At the start, the siren, the flags, the banners and all that. But we've got a real problem with that intensity, isn't it? Trying to whip the crowd up in the opening 10 or 15 minutes. And it can't, because we're not fit enough. So what do you think it is? Do you think it's a mindset, or... Because it's not... I don't think it can be about quality when it's just about chasing people down and putting that little bit of intensity in it. How did you see it?
I think it is a mindset thing. We touched on this last week, in so much as there's a bit of a head down mentality for me at the moment, where they look like they're carrying the pressure of the situation that they find themselves in. And certainly for me, Saturday felt nervy on both sides because of the weight of importance of that fixture. And this is what you find sometimes. And this is why, it's no surprise that often we do better against the better sides in the fixtures that we're perhaps not expected to do anything in, cue Chelsea away coming up. Because when you've got something like Burnley at home, or you've got Brentford at home, or you've got Luton at home, or whatever, it's that whole thing of like, we have to win this. We have to beat Burnley at home, otherwise we're doomed and we have no chance. And I think that weight does affect them adversely, and I think it certainly did on Saturday. And yeah, as I say, it felt like there was a pressure situation, and I do think it's a mindset thing. But yeah, for the most part, awful game. There was a few chances, but they just didn't really look sharp up front. And let's face it, it was much needed. But Dom's goal, fluke, but a very welcome fluke. And then that's 2-2 for him.
It is weird, isn't it? I've seen like Nunes scored one for Liverpool, the same goal the other night. And then me and Zach were watching some highlights in the Championship, and in the Leicester game is the same goal. Goalkeeper kicking it against the striker and going in. But being in the game, it was. I said in my match reaction, it was quite fitting that game was decided by that goal, because it was a poor game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was appalling. It was an appalling game of football. And I do think...
But is Dave right, though? Do you think it's... Because you know what? I felt more worried at 5 o'clock than I was at 3 after watching it. But I've come away and I've took my mind and thought, you know what? Maybe Forest and Brentford will be different because they're more...
No, I think there's a sense of that. I think the game was appalling, and I do think the thing about like pressing and stuff is all by design. The manager is so risk averse, and he said that himself. He said he designed an ugly win. Yeah, and even when they got sent off, they weren't pressing. I find the whole Dwight McNeil thing embarrassing. If I'm being honest, I'll be honest. I'll say that I find the whole thing of making a big deal out of that embarrassing. Number one, it's not even good pressing. A player shouldn't be running from left to right to centre. The centre forward is the only player who should be doing that. I find that very embarrassing. I find the club tweeting stuff like that embarrassing. I think that's a natural thing footballers should be doing anyway. To pull it out there like he's just done something unbelievable, I find the whole thing. I find fans. I find fans championing that embarrassing. To be honest,
it was weird because Dwight didn't have a good game at all.
He was poor.
So to highlight something he did for 60 seconds and make it like...
Don't get me wrong, in the game, I appreciate that kind of thing. It does lift the crowd. But afterwards, I just find the whole thing very cringeworthy of going, look at this, a player chased down the ball. Didn't win it, by the way. Didn't win it. Didn't get anywhere near. And actually, Dyche bollocked him for leaving the left-hand side.
Mikalenko 2v1.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I admire the sentiment. But that, to me, is really cringeworthy. But I think we're so risk-averse that the manager...
Do you know what? Sorry, do you know why it is a little bit cringeworthy? Because I remember Liverpool posting Andy Robertson doing it against City and our fans destroying it. Oh, player runs. Wow.
No, it's cringy.
Why are we doing it?
But
anyway, back
the
to
manager's really risk-averse. We know that. And I think he doesn't buy into all that stuff. That's evident. He doesn't buy into... We've known that from day one, where he said, we're not having like bus welcomes or anything like that. Yeah, he keeps everything on the down low. And I think what he does is, and to be fair, he's probably right. What he does is says, no, this is the game plan, and I'm not going to do something like artificial to sort of get the crowd going. I'm going to stick to my game plan. And it was so evident after they went down to 10 men. That he was sticking to that. He wasn't going to go guns blazing. He was like, we got 1-0. We're really good defensively. Why would we change that?
Well, I saw him motioning players back.
Yeah.
Rather because we were trying to edge up the pitch.
We were trying to catch them on the edge of the box and play counter-attacking football. And to be fair, we should have scored a couple of more goals. Dom probably should have got one. Beto got taken out, whatever you think. He got taken out. I mean, at the time, I thought it was a penalty. From my angle, it looks a penalty, but obviously it was outside the box. And then people were telling me it's not. But you go back and watch it.
No,
he does what any striker's supposed to do, cut across the defender.
I changed my mind. In the game, I was fuming with him because I thought he should have just gone for goal. He was in, and I could only think, like, when I was playing footy, whatever, it doesn't matter if you're playing in the park, whatever. If you're running, you can see the white of the goalie's eyes. You keep going because you think, I've scored a goal. And he seemed to slow down, but I've watched it again from 3 different angles. He's fouled. It should be a red card.
And he's trying to change the angle.
He's going across.
He's trying to change.
I tell Zach to do it. I say to Zach, get in front of the defender, run across him.
He's giving himself a little bit of time. So that's a penalty. Sorry, that's a red card. That's more of a red card than the red card they actually got, which isn't really a red card. Look with
one angle's terrible. I know, but one angle is terrible. It's a terrible.
I don't really care.
No.
What I would say is look where the ball goes.
Oh no, forget the ball. It's how high his leg.
Yeah, I know. I'm
anyway.
50-50 on that.
Yeah.
I'm happy we got it.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is, it's off the back, and sometimes you need a horrible, dirty win with a goal like that, with a decision that's lucky to get you, and then that might settle everybody down, including the fans, for the next home game. Because I think obviously there is a lot of nerves, and we haven't won, so we have to just take that now. Hopefully, go to Chelsea, get something, and that's doable, and then come back for that huge week.
It's a big
and that week could keep our Premier League status.
Dave's absolutely spot on, though. I think is that game at the weekend. It was almost, and this makes it sound like Everton a boss, and this isn't how I want it to come across, but it was almost a no-win situation, Dave, do you think? Because we're playing a team who was second to bottom, who I think most people think will be relegated, and I think they will anyway now after Saturday. Everyone is from an Everton perspective, everyone's expecting us to win in the ground, because even though we go, you know what, wouldn't surprise me if Burnley beat us. You sit down in your seat at 3 o'clock at Goodison, you're expecting them to beat Burnley, and therefore we win, and it isn't a good game, and it's a narrow win with a fluky goal, and you come out, and I spoke to a lot of people after the game at the weekend, and they were like, feels like a defeat, because Luton scored in the last minute, and I was like, now I understand we're not joyously dancing down Goodison Road or Bullens Road or whatever, but it was just about getting that win, Dave, wasn't it? We haven't won for 4 months. We haven't won a home. We've only won 4 home games all season. But Ped's right, isn't it? Sometimes it didn't really matter, did it? It was about getting the 3 points, and we move on now to Chelsea.
Yeah, absolutely. And it depends whether the win can actually lighten some of the pressure, improve the mindset, improve the confidence. Certainly, neither were exactly worldies. One was a pen and one was obviously Saturday. But, 2 and 2 for Dom should relieve some of the pressure on him.
Yeah,
which you would hope will translate into better performances and a bit more bite up front from him. I think, but it's in stark contrast to situations we found ourselves in before in other parts of the season, whereby we've not been getting the results, but we've actually been creating loads of chances and we've been playing well. And there's been that optimism there that actually, do you know what, if they carry on playing like that, then the results will come. Because if you are creating chances, you will inevitably, by the law of averages, score goals. And obviously, that will convert itself to results. We're not in that situation at the moment now. And certainly there's nothing about Saturday's performance that makes you think that they're going to blow Forest away. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But unless this result can translate itself, and obviously whatever happens at Chelsea away can translate itself into a different mindset for that. Because as you say, that is a huge week. And it could define what happens in the season, or at the end of the season, rather.
I think, for me, the way I'm looking at it, I mean, I watched Sheffield United and Chelsea, or watched large parts of it, flipping between that and Nottingham Forest at Spurs yesterday. But Chelsea, they've got individual brilliance, and they showed it yesterday. But I'm not being funny. They're not a good football team, and defensively, they're all over the place. And it's if Everton can go and all Sheffield United did really yesterday was just stay compact. They rode the luck a little bit at times, but then Chelsea's keepers made 3 or 4 really good saves to keep them in the game, so to speak. So it's not. I don't think it's a game that I'm looking at and going, we're not going to get anything there. I look at that and think we could easily go and get at least a point there. In fact, I'd argue this might be our best chance of breaking our winless run there, simply by, if you can dog a game out like Sean Dyche has been good at away, who knows on the counter book, then coming home to those 3 games, I'm going to put Liverpool to one side because that's a derby and anything can happen, but against Forest and Brentford, Everton will be well aware of the threat of them then 2 teams, and therefore it makes it more, I think, of a game which is a 50. I think the pressure isn't the same on those games, even though they're home games, and we look and feel like we have to win. I mean, Ned, what are you thinking for those 3 games in that? Well,
thinking about steak.
He's thinking about fillet steak.
And bread roll.
And bread roll. The bread roll more probably. But Ned, that Brentford and Forest game, do you think people's mindsets will be different to that than what it was on Saturday? Because I don't think anyone will look at them and go 2 easy wins them. You know what I mean?
No, I think it's because Burnley are pretty much as good as down, I think. And I think most of the disappointment after the game was that we didn't absolutely slaughter them. Certainly after they went down to 10 men. The way we reacted to that, and it was almost like we play with 10 men. But I think we're a better organised team than Burnley and got better players. I think you look at Forest and Brentford, you could argue that they've got a couple of individuals that are really dangerous. And if we go there, or if they come to us and we're more organised and we stick to a game plan, then there's no reason why we can't, they can't be easy wins. But I look at teams like Chelsea and I think they're not good football teams. They've got decent players like Palmer, but if you go to Stamford Bridge and you, like I said, you've got a good game plan and you work harder than them, I don't think there's no reason why we beat them. I think the game that worries me is at Luton, because they are a team that we've seen twice at Goodison this season, and they're actually quite good at home, and they stick to a game plan and they really work hard together. And they're beating a lot of teams this season that you could argue have got much better individuals than them. So I think that's the game that worries me, and the fact that they're a team that are 2 points behind us.
Well, they will be once we get the deduction.
I think a bit more than the Brentford game worries me, to be honest.
No, you're right. That's a tough game. But Ped, that by then the picture could look very different. That isn't till May. If Everton were to, again, a massive stretch this, but if Everton were to get 7 points out the next block of fixtures, the next 4, because that's what it is till we play Luton, then I think by the time we play Luton, they go to Man City next week. They've got Brentford at home the week after, and Brentford are still right in the mix at the moment. Brentford have just gone to Villa and scored 3 goals, by the way, when they were 2-0 down. So I could see Brentford putting Luton to bed at Kenilworth throw the could, because I think they've got the ability and the battle and scrap. Therefore, when we go there, if we were to get it's a big if, of course it is, but if Everton were to get 7 out the next 12, by the time we play Luton...
Yeah, I think our big issue is to win games, we generally need to keep a clean sheet. And that's the big problem, isn't it? When you're playing like Chelsea, they'll score.
They will score.
They'll score. They score goals. That's it's the other end they're having issues with, and it's whether
we could nick a draw there.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying we won't. I'm just saying at the moment it feels very much like, you know, we'll win game. If we're going to win, it's going to be a 1-0, and that makes it very edgy. Makes every game very edgy. Makes you feel nervous. It makes you feel like one mistake and the game plan has to be turned completely round. So it's going to be a nervy few weeks, obviously.
The big difference as well being the fact that Forest and Brentford have got goals in them. You know, Burnley have got no. I mean, we've not got goals in us, as we say every week, but we've got more about us than Burnley have got going forward, and that was, I mean, they've got nothing.
No.
Whereas, as you say, I mean, I wasn't concerned about Burnley scoring on Saturday. At no point did I sort of feel under threat. Whereas with Forest and Brentford, at any point, you know that they've got goals.
Nottingham Forest, they've got Wolves at home next week. Could go either way. Then they come to Everton. Then they've got City. You'd expect City to win that because they're going to have to. But then Forest go to Sheffield United. They'll win there. Then they've got Chelsea at home. Depends what Chelsea turns up. And then they've got Burnley away. So they could easily get another 8 points, say, out of their 6 games. Yeah. But that would still, even with Everton getting 2 points, that would, if Everton got the 7 I'm talking about, and then had Sheffield United at home to beat, then Everton would finish above Forest. So, you know, we're going to... I said last week, I think, we needed 4 points, in my opinion, to stay up. 4 points, 4 wins, in my opinion. Imagine 4 wins to stay up. We got 1 at the weekend, so there's 3 to go. And
but as we all know, we have this conversation all the time. Is that it guaranteed it will not go exactly how we either expect it or we want it. You know,
of course it won't. And that's how you look at it, isn't it? You have to be honest, you have to look at it like that, because, you know, Luton go to Man City at the weekend. They've got Brentford the week after at home. They then go to Wolves. Wolves are a good side, so who knows? They then have Everton. Then they go to West Ham.
I think Luton have to win all their own games, don't they? Now I think they have to win all their home games. And even if. Yeah, so we'd have to match them, wouldn't we? Yeah, I think they have to win all their home games, and you know, the away games are quite tough. So, and they have got that something about them where they never give up. And we saw that on. I mean, I don't know what the Bournemouth centre back was doing for the winner. But, he just sort of had to lie down or something, didn't he? But yeah, and Forest have showed that, you know, Chris Wood could have put them in the lead yesterday, but somehow spectacularly smashed one against the post from a yard. So it's obviously it is
at that stage he should have been dead and buried, though.
No, and that's the thing, isn't it? They've got goals, but obviously at the back, I think we're all the same, aren't we? We're all very much the same. I think we just, as I said, it's weird talking on a Monday, you know, after we've had a victory, the first victory in months, and to be sort of this down almost on the whole situation, because it just feels like coming out of that game on Saturday, like, yes, we had 3 points, but when you look against who the opposition were and playing against 10 men, it just didn't feel like we'd learned much about our football team other than that it got 3 points.
Or that we'd move forward in any way, shape or form.
And that they serve bread rolls.
Bread rolls, is a key one. I mean, you know, as we went on, they should have gone down to 10 men. Down to 9 men at that time, wasn't it? Because Beto was taken out. But also, the James Garner penalty.
Yeah, it's a penalty.
I mean, the referee couldn't be in a better position, Michael Oliver. You know, seeing, without wanting to call other games into question, Harvey Elliott gets a penalty at Old Trafford yesterday. That isn't even a foul. It's not a foul. He throws himself into Wan-Bissaka and the referee gives a penalty in a huge game. And yet Michael Oliver's looking clearly at James Garner, who gets clattered by Jay Rodriguez. There's no one in the way. And, you know, for the second week, okay, Everton got a penalty at Newcastle the other night, but it was a stonewall penalty. But Everton didn't have a penalty last week at Bournemouth for the same thing. And yet when we went to Old Trafford the other week, Garnacho got penalty for the exact same thing. So, I mean, Dave,
I don't understand it.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't understand it. The Ghana one, for me, was clear Saturday.
You can see it, though, his positioning. He's right behind it. Well, why is Ghana going to go to ground when there's the opportunity of a shot?
Yeah, that's a penalty. It's a penalty, and a simple fact that as I said, Beto was taken out, and that was a penalty, and we're not getting these decisions. I know we got one at Newcastle, but because the players wrestle to the ground. But teams are getting these every week. I mean, Chelsea seem to get penalties every other game. Cole Palmer's
he's flying.
He's probably got about 20 goals off penalty this season. These are the decisions that could be crucial, and you come out if you've won 2-0 and maybe both of your centre forwards have scored. It gives you a good feeling going into the next game. I mean, because you're on edge when you're at the match all the time. You feel like you can't relax for a minute other than half time, and it's just. And that's when you find out the half-time scores. Sometimes you can't relax then, but
well, they done nothing, but they had Josh Brownhill's shot, which
is a good shot from another angle,
and Pickford just gave it, and I thought it's in, and then it moved away, luckily. And then obviously Murray goes off in the 95th because Seamus Coleman heads it out because no one tells him he's got time. And then the keeper's up, and you're thinking, one flick here, and they scored, and again they didn't deserve a goal then because they done nothing. And luckily we defend the corner, but that's how crucial those decisions are. And, we get that penalty for the foul on James Garner. We get a chance to put the game to bed. You know what I mean? You smash it in 2-0, you come out and you go, good 2-0 win, an extra goal, we move on. But you're right, did anyone even know Michael Oliver had blew the whistle of the final whistle?
No.
The game, carrying on.
I think Gomez someone put his hands up in the air.
Put his hands up and someone went to the knees like one of the Burnley players, that's over. By the way, the game's finished. Absolutely.
Can't even blow a whistle.
It's Michael Oliver. Fellas, he's terrible.
I think they're arguably the most easiest penalties. You dangle a leg or swipe a leg, you don't win the ball. But I was more annoyed about Beto. I remember someone behind me said, he was looking for it. Well, yeah, if you get across someone.
Who was it? Name names.
I don't know.
Were they famous?
We said,
were they famous?
Josh
Wonder. Was it an ex? Josh Wonder wasn't even there. You messaged me, went, I can see Josh Wonder. It was a stunt double.
I saw the cap.
That's where we are now. Any baseball caps, Josh Wonder. Okay.
Well, somebody said, I was looking for it. But if you get across, if you're a striker, you get across someone. That's because if he touches you,
he's off.
It's a foul.
Did you get to watch it again on a special telly you had next to you?
Well, I was, to be honest, I didn't see it the first time. I was eating cheese and bread.
What's he say with that?
He probably, I can imagine Ned just didn't finish the cheese board and just put it inside of his pocket.
Yeah.
Just a bit of cheese.
I'll have a bit of
cheese.
Bloody hell.
You ever done hospitality at Goodison, Dave? Because that sounds like a Dave Vitti kind of thing to do.
I have, but in a working capacity.
Oh, here we go.
In what?
So
go on then. Context.
So I used to sometimes do the lounges and the boxes.
Okay.
So I would go along, and I would be treated to a very, very nice meal in the 1878 Brasserie, which is perhaps where you were, Ned. I don't know.
Brian
had a lovely meal,
lounge.
and I used to go there with my cousin Paul because I'd get an extra place.
Nice.
So we'd go and sit in the posh seats, and then in return, I would then go and go and have a little chat with. There was a compare guy called Pete, and we'd go around the different boxes and just have a chat for 10 minutes or so in each box before the game, and then come down. So
nice.
I have done on about 3 or 4 occasions in the days where Gary Wilton was.
Yeah.
And Gary used to kindly book me and put me through there. So yeah, it was a nice rare treat. Although the weird thing for me is that, without sounding ungrateful, it never really properly felt like the game for me. Because you have your own routines, and for me, it was always about parking up at a certain time, going to Spello, seeing family and friends in there or outside there, as it was, stood outside the Spello. And that was the routine, and you don't have that when you risk stating the obvious. You don't have it, and it sounds like I'm being ungrateful or
no,
unspoiled,
understand it.
I'd come away from the match day experience, even though it'd been really, really nice and luxurious, but feeling somewhat empty.
Yeah, no,
it wasn't the day that it should have been.
I agree. I've done it twice. I think one time. Yeah, I think the club invited me. Wow, how the days have changed. The club invited me once to actually look at it and speak to a couple of people early on when I started. And I actually remember I got to meet it was when we were just about to sign Funes Mori, and he was there, but we hadn't signed him, and I got to go and get a picture with him. And I actually got to present the Man of the Match award to Tim Howard as well, who had been slagging off on Twitter during the game because he was terrible. It was against Manchester City. Yeah, but I got to present. Oh, genuinely.
I was in America.
I got to give him the Man of the Match trophy, which was highly embarrassing. And then another time, a bookmaker invited me to go, and I actually sat. It was against Leicester in the FA Cup. And I actually got to sit next to the guy who put the bet on for Leicester, the 5,000 to 1.
Oh, really?
Bet on. Yeah, I got to sit next to him. He was a very, very quiet.
Goodison.
Yeah. He was a very quiet, timid man. I think he was a little bit like, I shouldn't be here. Leicester beat us 2-1 in the FA Cup. I think it was the third round.
Oh, yeah, we were winning 1-0.
Yeah, it was like the third round, and they beat us 2-1. But on both occasions, very much like Dave, you feel like I certainly did, feel like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
You feel like
I've never done it.
You feel like you shouldn't be there because and you feel like it's, even though I got to meet some nice people and speak to nice people. Funny enough, I think at the one of them I got to speak to Kenny Dalglish Sr. from Phoenix Knights, if anyone remembers him. And you just feel, I just felt like fish out of water.
Yeah.
And just like it doesn't feel very organic to what you do, and you have to get dressed up, and you don't really want to be dressed up, and
you're there too early as well.
Yeah.
I have been up at midday, and
I have been invited. I've just always rejected it because I've just never fancied
Man of the people.
No, I'm not. I've just never. It's for that reason. I go to match with me mate, and I go to match with Zach. I would never ever.
I've won. I actually won. I won another one as well to be in the park and hospitality, and that's when we beat Man City, and that was good. And another time, and this was the.
So it's been 4 times.
That was a. I won that one.
No, but you've been in.
And there was another one. There was another one, and this was slightly different. Yeah, but it was in the park end. It's not the same. It's more like casual, and you're weighing in that bit of the ground.
Stable or something.
Yeah, and the other one. This is the weirdest one. I won this weird competition with like one of those like Everton now and again do a points thing, where like if you buy stuff in the shop, the points start adding up, and you never never really take any notice. Yeah. And I actually got to sit on the bench for a game.
Oh, you remember me telling me?
We won 3-0 against Bolton.
Tremendous. Joe scored. Brazilian Joe.
Yeah, Joe scored. But I was basically taken into a room before the game, confronted by 2 of Everton's media men, and told. They were basically saying, well, yeah, one of them is. Okay, basically said to me, we know who you are, and you're not to, anything that's said on the bench is not to be repeated anyway.
That's fair enough.
I just basically laughed in their faces.
That's fair enough.
I did, yeah. And basically, I got to sit there with and it was a very interesting experience, just being right behind. I was with where the announcer is.
Yeah.
With the announcer is. So it was a really good experience. Weird, but good.
That is the hardest thing when you have to try and change your behaviour, because obviously normally I'm sat around like other working class people, and I felt very like they were looking down at me.
What kind of comments is that?
No, like we were sat with like families and stuff. So I'm like if someone loses a ball, I'm like, oh darn. But then second half, I was like, Oliver, you're a disgrace. And then people were just like looking at the families, like me and Cam sat behind them going,
yeah, I imagine going in there, you can't F and F like.
Yeah, I was just like the first half.
Were people shouting and that, or not really?
Not really, no.
No, see, that to me is not even going to match. You may as well stay at home. And I mean, ironically, I'm even worse when I'm at home than I am when I'm at the match. But
Brandon had a shot in the first half, and he looked like he pulled something. I went, oh gosh, he's pulled a muscle. But by the second half, I was like...
when he went over, he was like that to the bench. He was saying to Dice, because Dice had to go him for shooting. He was apologising to Big Sean.
Why are we having to go people for shooting?
There you go. Make of that what you will. The Premier League, this has come out today. The Premier League have put an ad out now, having a go at the independent regulator. And this is what the ad says. Make of this what you will, Dave. The Premier League is the world's most watched competition. The Championship is Europe's 6th wealthiest league, and we have the best attendant and deepest pyramid in world football. Yet, the UK will soon become the first major country to regulate football. We must guard against unintended consequences that would put English football's success at risk. That is a Premier League ad, paid ad. That they have put out. What do you make of this?
Well, I have to be a little bit careful here.
Okay, don't comment. Then I'll go to bed. I'll go to bed if it's. I don't want to compromise you.
No, I don't. No, I don't mind. I'm just going to be a bit careful here because of other work stuff that I do. But one could say, perhaps, or some may think, certainly wouldn't necessarily be any individual from this broadcast.
No, of course.
That perhaps, if the Premier League had proven their own competence in their actions and their dealings in recent time, that the necessity for independent regulation wouldn't be seen to be required by so many.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would carefully say, without trying to align myself to anything, but that would perhaps be. And I think, in particular, a club like ours may feel that the right decisions by that governing body have not been done.
Yeah.
Of late.
Okay.
Here endeth my...
Tremendous.
I think...
Bed, what do you make of it?
No, I think, number one, I mean, this is... the Premier League is... one of the biggest, if not, I know it's not the biggest, but one of the biggest exports that the UK has. It's probably the number one thing the UK has at the moment. And it has to be regulated in a way because as we've seen with other things, in this country, that there always has to be someone in the middle to just keep an eye on things, because we don't tend to get a lot right in this country, so I think the Premier League, with all the money that's in it and the decisions it makes, they do go round the world. When these decisions are made, it does go round the world. It is bad for the brand, and the brand is so important to the UK and the UK economy as well, because of all the money it brings in, the money via sponsorships and everything, and it's. We have all the clubs in the pyramid as well. There has to be an element of fairness, and that has to go down the pyramid. And if it's not fair at the top, then what does that say about the game? So we do need it in. I just find the Premier League obviously a private company, and. Yeah, it's just, it needs to be sorted out, because as a football fan, I don't believe that we are getting the best product, even though they think we're getting the best product. It might look like the best product if you watch it on TV and you're in another country and how it's the PR is used. But I think going the game, I don't think it's the best product, and I don't think we're getting, we've got to wait now till next Monday night for a game. I mean, that shouldn't be on at all. We should be looking forward to a weekend game, playing the game, going there. Home fans should be expecting to pay a decent price to go and watch their team, rather than the extortionate prices they will have to pay for being a Chelsea fan. And all these things, the travel on a Monday night for an Everton fan, all these things need to be sorted out. Nottingham Forest yesterday having to go to watch their club at Spurs' ground at 6 o'clock kickoff, because Liverpool are playing Manchester United at Old Trafford. I mean, that's why, isn't it? That's the reason why their game gets moved, because of another game. Chelsea's the same. It needs looking at from top to bottom, and the Premier League have proved that they can't do it themselves and don't want to do it themselves, and they've put themselves in this situation. They can cry about it all they want, but they've distorted the game to the point now where it's getting to be unrecognisable.
Yeah, I don't think it's the best product. It's sold as, or glitched it up as the best, but I mean, anyone who was at Goodison on Saturday will have seen if that's the product of the Premier League.
They'll start to get a feel now that the other 14 want to, rather than just settle in, want to start changing it. We saw that last week of they wanting to abolish point deduction because everyone's starting to get in a bit of trouble now. So I think that's the reason the advert. They're just trying to push their own agenda. But
the shambles of the point deduction situation of late is exactly why independent regulation is required.
Absolutely.
Those who feel because the process which they went through, if indeed process is the right word, because it didn't feel like any kind of process to me, just made no sense and was just head scratchingly baffling for everybody. Just kind of going, where have they come up with this? How have they quantified these points? And at the time of recording today, Monday, the 8th of April, we are awaiting an expected further points deduction.
Yeah.
At what time we don't know, and how many points we don't know. And perhaps by the time you're watching this, we will all know. But it's ludicrous. And not just for us, it's ludicrous for every single club who is in that situation at the bottom of the table, whether it's us, Forest, Brentford, Luton, Burnley, anybody, Sheffield, nobody actually knows where they are.
And you know what's mad, Dave, is that with this expected points deduction, which Everton are going to get, Everton are going to appeal. Everton are going to appeal, and even if they get 1 point, I think they're going to appeal. So therefore, the whole thing goes now till the end of May, after the season's finished, because of our appeal. And because of Forest. So the Premier League have caused huge issues for themselves this season.
So does that therefore mean that, whoever ends up bottom three come the end of the season may not actually be the bottom three, because the results of an appeal can then obviously distort the ordering of that?
Absolutely, it does.
Whoever is relegated in May may be reinstated.
Yeah, absolutely, it does.
Out with someone else. I mean, it's farcical.
Absolutely,
it is absolutely farcical. And that, if you like, you don't need any other reason other than that for the independent regulation. I mean, there are other reasons, but that in itself is enough to actually warrant them requiring a babysitter.
Yeah, totally.
One might suggest.
Yes, I'll suggest it. Absolutely. Let's have a little bit of fun for the last 5 or 6 minutes with a would you rather's, which are always interesting. And I'm going to go to Ned, because Ned...
Would you rather have independent regulation
or not? Yeah,
or a kick in the bollocks.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. Ned, we'll come to you first. Because you've enlightened us with
man of the people.
Lights. He is the man of the people, sitting in the posh seats. He's a man of the people. Would you rather be in an elevator full of noisy high school students, or an elevator full of judgmental middle-aged men?
Oh, definitely the latter.
Because you work with that.
I was in a...
This is every week.
This is every day and every week.
In a club in St Helens on Friday.
Yeah.
And I literally went to the over 25 terrace and said, "Can you please let me in? I can't stand this club. It's full of..."
Sorry, what's an over 25 terrace?
It's like a terrace for over 25s to go.
I mean, it's self-explanatory. I mean, I'm surprised you had to ask me.
Self-explanatory. So I say,
but what is it? Is it like a smoking area? Does it look out?
It's just like a little small bar within a club for only 25. Over 25.
But you weren't over 25.
No, but I said to him, "Listen, this is full of kids, and they're asking me if I do things that I don't do."
Sorry. Like what exactly?
Like go to hospitality at football games, I imagine.
Illegal things. Yeah. So I said, "Can I come in here?" And he says, "Yeah, go on." I go in, and there must have been like 19-year-olds there and as well. And I literally, it made me feel really, really angry. So I'll go with a middle-aged...
Hang on, sorry. It made you feel really angry that there was 19-year-olds and an over 25 section, and you're not over 25.
Yeah, but they were acting like absolute brats.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with the latter. I don't mind. My mates are middle-aged anyway, so...
Okay, fair enough. I mean, Ped?
Can you repeat the question, please?
So would you rather be stuck in an elevator with noisy high school students, or middle-aged men who are judgmental?
What's an elevator?
A lift.
Where are we?
We're in America.
How many floors?
So you're stuck in there? You're stuck?
Oh, you're stuck?
You're stuck in the elevator.
No kids then.
Yeah.
No. The decibels of the way of the speaking is
it
just,
out, wouldn't it?
And also some of the things they say you can't be. There's no text to
what's happening.
Okay, you know, I wouldn't know what they were saying.
So just amongst us,
just high pitch
amongst our equals, then judgmental middle-aged man.
I'm on the terrace.
You on the terrace, Dave?
B.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's not elaborate. Dave, would you rather have to eat only broccoli for the rest of your life, or forced to watch an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians every day?
Oof. I think I'd have to go for the Kardashians.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
because much as I wouldn't enjoy it, it would just be however long an episode of the Kardashians is. Let's say it's an hour.
Yeah,
at worst, probably. Yeah. It's just an hour of my day which I just have to get through. But then I would be free to eat whatever I wanted or do whatever I wanted outside of that.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
Whereas the idea of just being forced to eat broccoli, was it broccoli only every day?
Yeah.
I think is a more extreme punishment.
I think so.
The Kardashians, I think.
See, a piece of broccoli, a piece of broccoli a day.
Yeah, that's healthy.
I'd be that's healthy. Free radicals, really good for you all day.
I'm quite happy with that.
Free radicals. Weren't they a band when Dave was on Radio
Radicals,
1? He was.
Radicals.
Well, David, the new radicals. Ned could be the four radicals, or if there's three of them in his band, the three radicals. See, and they could all wear broccoli tops, like Broccoli Rob out of the office.
At least you're watching a different Kardashians episode every day. If you're just eating broccoli every day, pretty soon
it's got to be the Kardashians,
probably turn green or something.
Yeah, I'll go Kardashians.
Yeah, Kardashian up. Ned, would you rather be a chicken for one day or a cow for one day?
Ooh, I was watching videos about cows last night, and I'm gonna go with chicken.
So so I can process this answer. You watched videos about cows last night, and from that, you've decided you want to be a chicken for the day. What did the cow do?
They're more aggressive than you think, cows.
Oh, are they? Yeah.
I watched a video of a mother cow trying to kill a calf.
Was this on Bovine TV?
No, it's on animalhub.com.
Oh, right, okay.
Did you go on to...
Hang on,
sorry. Did you go into animalhub.com thinking something else would be on there?
No, it was on Facebook.
Oh, it was on Facebook?
Oh, you never follow.
Cow. So then just got into like a cow. I went into Google and I was like, why do cows...
Did you go down a cow black hole?
Yeah, I was like, why do cows kill the cow? I was like, I was trying to go to sleep, and that's why I'm really tired, because I was watching videos about cows. I haven't watched many videos about chickens, but I also found out, I also on this loophole find out how they slaughter pigs and stuff.
Do you know what you should do?
Just pause for a sec. Do you mean down this rabbit hole rather than on this loophole?
Yeah. A loophole of animal slaughtering and stuff.
Do you know what? Maybe you should watch like a chicken video and see why they cross the road.
That'd be a good one.
Well, if I'm just for chicken for a day, I could probably just...
To find out for yourself?
Yeah, I'll have a nice...
Okay.
It's like a chicken one, isn't it?
Fair enough. Okay, I mean, I wasn't expecting that we'd get full, internet history from you when I asked you the question. That's fine.
It's a clear history moment, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'd go cow. They're just big, aren't they? And you don't have to kill a calf for the day, Ned. That might have just been the mum was having a bad day.
If tries to kill you?
Well, then I'm big, aren't I? I'll have to deal with it, won't I?
Really, if a farmer comes along, you are in trouble.
I am. Well, yeah, but you're in trouble if you're a chicken. I'm going a cow. Go ahead, Dave. What would you go for?
I think my gut reaction would be a cow as well, because I just think that it would be an easier way to spend one day, because you are big. You don't really have any natural predators, do you, for the most part?
Humans.
Humans.
You guys just want people to come over and yank you.
But I think it would be an easier... But then again, the flip side of that is that if you were in a free-range, chicken-friendly environment and you were just spending a day chickening around, clucking around a sort of field and laying eggs, that also... I think it's to do with the environment. I think it's to do with, if you were a chicken, but you might be in one of those horrible battery chicken farm things that would be horrible. So I think with that in mind, cow, final answer.
But if you're a cow, would you want to be milked? I think that's the big question.
Don't know. Maybe, I would.
Not be.
I want to feel what it's like.
It's not really elaborated, that question. You might not be a cow on a field. If you're a chicken, you might...
Ned, I've just asked you a simple question.
You might be a fried chicken.
I mean, I'd go cow personally, but I think the bigger question is, would you want to be milked? I think that's...
But the other thing that's interesting here, Ped, is the fact that as for, male of the species. None of us have any realistic knowledge of what it's like to be milked.
So I would like to be milked. I'm going to say it. I'll see what it's like. See what it's like. Then you've had the full cow experience, haven't you?
Well, anything with nipples can be milked. So
there you go.
Imagine if it's like holding a wee for ages and someone just comes over and goes like that and you go, oh.
I don't think that's different.
I think that's slightly different. Wee doesn't come out the others, Ned.
I think you might need to start watching more cow videos.
You do. Go back onto the cow videos and see where the wee comes out of. That chicken thing has just let me...
Don't put that into a search engine.
No.
Not any of our search engines, for God's sake.
No.
I'll be milked.
It doesn't matter. Just the chicken thing's just made me... I watched the first episode of The Gentleman last night.
Oh, yeah.
Have you watched The Gentleman yet, Dave?
No, but funny you should say that, because I had a conversation with my sister and brother-in-law last night about The Gentleman.
Yeah. Right.
And my brother-in-law was telling me that I need to watch it, and I haven't as yet done it. So it has been recently recommended to me. Yours is a secondary recommendation. That presses go on. I should
go. There you go. A double recommendation. That's all.
It's it's the fella scouting it, really, because it was the worst scout.
Right? Can I ask you? Oh, Peter Savanovic.
Whoever Billy Dixon was, or Tommy Dixon, whatever.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was Peter Savanovic.
I don't know. I don't know.
Is the main character in it American or English?
Have you not watched it?
I've seen the film. The film's brilliant. I love the film. The film is
the main character is English.
And I see in the film he's American. So I think the film's fantastic.
Don't get me wrong, it was really good. The first episode was really good. There's some good cast in it. It's good. And secondly, Dave, have you watched Kin?
No.
Oh, David.
I haven't.
Go on, Dave.
Dave, it's brilliant. On the iPlayer, brilliant, honestly.
I've again heard good things about it, and I haven't. I've lost my way very much in terms of watching stuff. I went through a real phase of watching everything, everything that came out, and I was right on it. And I've lost my way a little bit in terms of being up to date with stuff. So I need to actually make a concerted effort to spend more time sat on my sofa.
Well, I mean, not all the time, just take an hour. But Kin is excellent. Kin is excellent. Honestly, it's really good on the iPlayer. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's funny when you watch programs. I tell you to watch things all the time, and it just goes.
It doesn't. I'm working through Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I'm not feeling it. Three episodes in, I'm not feeling it. But I've gone through 3 episodes of it. What else have you told me to watch? I've watched loads that you tell me to watch. I've got Shogun on my list. I just haven't got
on a list, is it?
And I was all over that thingy one on Disney till you said it was too long, and I'm thinking,
it's worth watching.
If you're saying it's too long, then I'm going to be bored with it. Let's finish on another stupid one, and we'll go with Ned first. I know there's 2. We'll do 2 and we're done. Would you rather have no body hair or no head hair?
No body hair, easily. I already shaved most of it off.
Okay, brilliant. I think I'd go with the no body hair.
Know that?
What did you just say? You should know that.
Why should we know that?
We've been naked together and not naked, but hang on. But when we go swimming, you can see that I shave all my armpits and stuff.
Let's clarify. Hang on, Ned.
You know
for the purpose of this podcast and me, because I've definitely never been fully compass mentis naked with you.
Right, well, we've been...
So clarify your comment for me.
We've been in really, really, really short swimming shorts together. So you know that I've only got leg hair. I shave my armpits because I like smelling good.
This might come as a massive surprise to you. But when we've been in a pool or gone in a sauna or a steam room, I ain't really looking at you, mate. I'm just in there doing my stuff. But fair enough, thanks.
What stuff are you doing?
Well, hang on.
Just saunaing and steaming and swimming.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Dave.
And we've worked together for a while now.
Yeah.
The 4 of us in various different guises.
Yeah.
I can honestly say, Ped and I have never been swimming together.
No, never.
But Dave, you've never been in a position where we could be swimming together, because when you are in our vicinity, you don't tell us and you duck off with your showbiz mates.
I've never been swimming with you two either, though.
Try swimming with friends.
That's the worrying thing.
We were in a hotel. We went for our away day. You didn't come swimming. Us three did. We went swimming, steam, sauna. So that's on you. Not on.
So it's only happened once. It's not a regular thing. You're not
twice. It's happened in our lives. Twice it's happened in our lives.
I was getting the impression that this was perhaps a weekly thing.
No.
Sounds that way, doesn't it?
Very much not. Not a weekly.
It would be like if Ped and I went to Zumba on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Well, we don't.
Think of that, right? But then do the opposite of that. That's very much what it is. It's not even a yearly thing. It's happened twice in about a 3-year period.
It sounds like you go to like a gentleman's club once.
No, it's just a bloody...
I'm saying that's the way Ned puts it.
I know, but
can I ask
do we go to Ned for any clarification on anything? How
it's just the way he says it, though. Like you go to a club once a week, a gentleman's club, and you have a sauna together. A bit of shit. Someone comes in and waxes the pair of yous as well. Well,
there's an over 25s terrace.
Over 25s terrace.
There's people who are under 25 who are asking Ned to do things that he's not comfortable with, like being milked.
Ned and... Yeah, exactly.
Actually do that.
Ned and Cameron in Minnesota.
It feels like you've got
in a hotel room. That's a different naked story.
I did wake up with my clothes on once.
Is this like the fishing trip in Gavin and Stacey?
Yes.
But it wasn't illegal.
Replace O'Wine with Cam and then put Ned with Bryn.
Yeah.
Ned will openly say he woke up totally and utterly bollock naked.
Boxes on. And Cam said
it's changed again. It was bollock. Anyway, final question to finish, because Ned is getting him and Cam in all sorts of trouble. Would you rather be born without knees or without elbows?
Well,
that's a tough one. You've either always got to be straight arm or straight leg.
No, I think I'm going to go for no elbows.
No elbows?
Yeah, can still run round then.
He's running like...
It's going to put you in this kind of situation, though, isn't it?
Yeah, always.
But then you're not... Then I'd be running like that.
but then you look like the Scousers, don't you?
But the Scousers can't. But think about this. How would you eat, though? If you can't build your... like, you'd need someone to... You'd need someone to feed you, wouldn't you?
I'd learn to eat with me toes.
Ugh.
That feels like a lot of work.
That's all right. That's okay.
You can't eat, can you, without a bent elbow?
You can't, no.
Well,
you can't, Dave, because how could you get it? I'm going legs.
No, I've just tried it practically.
I'm going legs. I'm going straight legs. You look silly running. I get it. But walking, you just look like you've maybe, I don't know.
I think you're right. I think actually out of the two joints to be fused, I think you'd go for knees, because I think that the inability to eat or feed yourself would be more of a disability and a hindrance than the leg thing. Yeah,
I'm with you, Dave. Me and Dave are on knees. Ped's gone without elbows.
Knees all day.
And Ned
I like playing guitar all the time. So
okay, so we've gone a 3-1. The 3-1 knee. Fair play. That's a good place to leave it. There's no need to carry on. Dave, we will see you next week. We'll know where we are then, points and all of that stuff as well. But have a great one, mate. Take it easy.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you soon. Listen, everyone listening, thank you very much for listening, watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, give it a 5-star rating, do all of that. We'll see you later. Bye.